And 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, it's John, your Indian Cine-MANIAC, with another 10ish-minute review. That's right, we got another one. These things are just flowing, this one isn't off the list that you guys sent in. I'm going to alternate back and forth, especially with some Amir Khan films that you guys have suggested, because I need my Amir Khan fix. And if I go by your lists, that you guys submitted, I'm not going to see any. So I am going to see some because some of you have recommended them to me. So before I get to the film I'm going to be reviewing, please, I know I beg this all the time, but the viewership seems to be going down. I don't know why. Maybe it's the time of the year. Maybe it's the choices that we're making. I don't know. Maybe it's my lack of dynamic presence. No, that can't be it. I completely dismissed that out of hand. Anyway, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, smash that like button. And if you would, please share this with anyone you think might enjoy this. Okay, so straying from the viewer wheel and the secondary choices just for a moment. I was a big fan of the film OMG, Oh My God, and I'm a big fan of Akshay Kumar. So people said I should see OMG 2, which was in the theaters but wasn't available here. Well, what showed up on my Netflix queue, but the next film I'm going to review, OMG 2, which came out in 2023 and was written and directed by Amit Rai, and it stars Akshay Kumar, who I've seen in a bunch of stuff, Pankaj Tripathi, who was in Gangs of Wasseypur and also was one of my favorite characters in '83. He was the PR man. Yami, Gautam, who I've never seen before, who is a beautiful woman. In fact, in the movie, they make a big thing about how beautiful she is, but she was striking. I've never seen her before. Pawan Malhorta, who was in Dawn and Bang Bang, and Govind Nabdea, who was in the original OMG. So I really loved the first movie, and I loved Kumar as God in the movie, the first one. And I liked the way it had something to say about religion. And this film, I thought, was going to be in that vein. Well, it wasn't. In fact, Akshay is not in this movie a lot. He's really there to move the plot along. He doesn't have as much screen time as he did in the first one. But this film, pretty quickly you realize that this is about a couple of things. One, about masturbation. Two, about sex education in the school system. So this film took a way different path than the first film. Talking about how the youth of India should be taught sex education, good touch, bad touch, that masturbation isn't bad. It's not a sin. It's not vulgar or a burger, as the lead kept saying. So it did take me by surprise. Now, once I got past that initial shock and understood, and that is the thread throughout the entire movie. So it took me by surprise. So anyway, so in the opening scene, they praise Lord Mahakal. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Again, forgive me. And it looked like all the people were nude, or they were wearing very small something, but they looked nude. It breaks right into a song, which was the lead character singing as they're praising. Didn't last long. And again, I wasn't sure where this was going to go. First of all, the lead character, Pankaj, looked a lot like the lead in the first film. Now, my question to you, and you can answer in the comment section, was the intent to have the original actor in the sequel and he didn't want to do it? Or was this a completely different thing? Because I thought he looked a lot like him. So then it gets right into the story where the kid got caught I'll use the term they use, playing with his reproductive organ. That's a phrase they use a lot in this film. In a bathroom in school. Well, somebody records it. They put it on social media. It goes viral. Now they want to kick him out of school for being indecent. Oh, I guess I should say, because this is a recent release, that this is a spoiler-filled review. So I'm going to spoil it. So if you haven't seen it, you probably don't want to watch this video. Watch it after you watch the film. So that's how it starts. Now he's got to go to the police and apologize because he beat up the guy that, or he didn't beat him up, but he did something to the kid who posted it and was kind of a bully. And that's where the father ends up slapping his own kid, which is a big thing in Indian movies. They slap the kids around quite a bit. Okay. So now he prays to the Lord. And that's when Akshay is brought on. And again, as always in these films, spectacular entrances with him coming out of the water in slow motion with long hair and water cascading down him. That's his introduction. Now, the only thing about his character that I didn't like in this one, he was kind of the same throughout the entire movie, where other than, I'll get to a scene in the hospital, but in the first film, he changed his look often to kind of blend in. And it's a very charming character. It really is. And I like, he does it with a little wink and a nod. There wasn't much of him. That's the thing I did not like. So now the kid, in flashbacks, you find out they tell him he's got a little reproductive organ. And you know that because he does this, and that's the size. Now, I can't tell if you can see this, but that's big. That's big. I don't know if there's any science involved with it, but that's big. Anyway, so now he's trying to figure out how to get bigger. So he does all these things. And when the doctor is explaining it to the father, he pulls out this little balloon and starts pumping it up, and the thing gets an erection. It was actually pretty funny and kind of goofy. The beginning was kind of goofy. They even had goofy music. So I thought maybe this was going to be a straight comedy. Obviously, it was not. So at one point, he takes Viagra, Veagra, till he passes out. Now, the father's telling him it's acid reflux. But the catalyst of the story really is his reproductive organ size. And on the bathroom door where he did this, it says "shake it well." And that was another thing that I've never seen in these movies. The overt, they're doing this. I mean, it was pretty, I haven't seen this before. So now they go to the court, and basically the rest of the movie is the courtroom scenes where the defense, the prosecution, prosecution, I guess, is making her case. And she was great. I loved her. I've never seen her before. She was beautiful. She was sharp. I really liked her. But the way now this is my one complaint about the movie, and it's a small one. And if I hadn't seen the first one, then it wouldn't be a complaint in this one. But what happens is he goes to court, and then he hits a roadblock. Then Akshay shows up and says something philosophically that sparks something in this guy. Then he goes back to court and is able to overcome that challenge. Now that happens like 3 times. So that's taken right out of the first film. And then towards the close, when the father takes a payoff to put this thing to rest, the school system's going to pay him off rather than complete the trial. He has an accident where he dies, if you remember the first one. And Akshay shows up, talks to him, reveals his true self. The guy lives and then goes on to save the day and win. Taken exactly out of the first film. So those beats, that did bother me, because it almost felt like the film, like a script was written, and then they said, let's try to fit it in the OMG franchise so we can bring Akshay's character back. But if they did the film without that character, it probably still would have worked because the subject matter had a lot of gravitas. So now again, I'm not complaining about his character. I like his character. I think he's a highlight when he shows up. You're looking forward to him showing up, but it was exactly out of the first film. And the ending scene where now the court is outside because there's so many people who are involved with this, was a powerful scene. He's doing his closing arguments, and she makes the mistake of saying, well, anyone in this audience, would they agree that playing with your reproductive organ is okay? It's not a sin. And then you see this, like you do it in these type of movies. Kid raises his hand. I masturbate. Then another guy, I masturbate. So they were all raising the hands that they masturbate. And then a girl says, what about, we want to talk about our periods. So and it was rousing. And it was like, and it ends up one of the kids, the first kid that raised his hands was the judge's son, or the justice's son. I'm not sure if you call them a judge. I think it's a justice. So that was kind of goofy, but I liked the performances. I thought the strongest performance obviously was the father. And again, I don't think I saw him in Gangs of Washburn. I loved him as a PR man, but in this one, he had to play a lot of emotions, and he was good. He wasn't over the top. He wasn't silly in any way. So I really liked him. Obviously Akshay's great. And I did enjoy this film. Now my question is, and you can answer this in the comment section, this film, a lot of people were talking about, has it been a hit in India? And does it really address something that exists today? Like, is that an issue today, sex education in the schools? Or is it something, from a few years ago? Because I mean, again, I am no expert on Indian culture, but it's also not something I've ever seen addressed in any of the Indian movies that we watched. So I'm just curious if it is. If it is, let me know in the comment section. But yeah, I like this movie. I would give this movie, I would say this, if I didn't see the first movie, I'd probably give this 4 Ladoos. But because I saw the first movie and because so much of it was taken from the first film, I'm going to give it 3 Ladoos. But I did like it. And again, I saw the actress I haven't seen before. I like Akshay. Akshay could read the phone book, and I'm going to enjoy it. There's just something about him. He's just got that twinkle in his eye, great, big smile. So yeah, thanks for the recommendation. I'm glad I got to watch it. So that's my little 10ish minute review. And that was pretty close to 10ish minutes. Now, the next film I'm going to watch, back to our lists, our viewer list. I'm going to watch, and this was recommended by Ron M653, and keeping with the Halloween spirit that is just around the corner, I'm going to review Table Number 21. Supposed to be a horror story. So let's see if we get scared at all about this, but that will be the next 10ish minute review. That alone should get you subscribed, hit the notification button, smash that like button, and share with anyone you think might enjoy this one. Anyway, check out The Big Show. We'll be recording on Tuesday with the Viewer Wheel, a choice from the Viewer Wheel. So I hope you check that out too. I always appreciate you guys watching, and I appreciate the comments. We got a few questions too that we will make sure that we get into The Big Show. I appreciate that, and I hope you'll keep watching. Thanks a lot, everyone, and have a great day.